now to the business meeting, which they told me at the beginning of this I had to conduct. So here we go. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is call Sister LaDonna Kastmeyer, who's our treasurer. God bless her. And she's going to give a very brief financial report. All right, Sister LaDonna is our treasurer. God bless Sister LaDonna. She watches our money. Oh, okay. No, oh, I might need it.
Okay. Well, it has been a joy to serve as your treasurer for almost 6 years. I'll finish that in spring. And I am not an archivist. I can come up with an administration background and have done many financial reports, and have been director of development also. So anyway, there is a little half sheet in your folder which has the fiscal year report, and you'll notice that for the year our difference was $16,015, and it is the difference between the income and the expense excluding the investments. So in case you had a question about that. Now, two of the things that happened, we did set up the PayPal expense, and many of you have been using that. And just for your information, when you send in your $45 for your treasury, for your dues, we deduct $1.29. So that gives you a little sense of the cost on that. And for the conference fee, there was a deduction of about $6 for your $240 or $205 registration fee. So that is a bit of expense, but it's well worth it. Then the other major thing that happened, we were investing our excess funds with Institutional Automated Systems out of St. Louis. Well, they had a big meeting, and now you have to have about $200,000 or more to invest with them. Well, needless to say, ACWR does not have that much money to invest. Usually it's around $50,000 or so. We were investing and had, oops, got that, well, that's okay. We had $78,000 invested, and part of the reason of that is that when we got the conference fees, we would put it in investments. And we did some research, and Stiefel Investing has a combination of, I have CDs and Vanguard money market funds, so that with the Vanguard, as we pay our conference fees now, we can pull it out and you still get your interest on it. The CDs you have to do for a specific period of time. And under institutional investments, we were getting anywhere from 2.5% to 3% interest. Now we're getting about 1.5 or 1.6% interest, but we know where stocks and bonds and CD or the treasury funds and so on are today, so we're lucky to at least get that much. It will give us some. So I just wanted to alert you to those two changes that we've had, and we probably will be down to about $50,000 invested after we pay the conference expenses. So now don't put your forms away, because we're going to use the backside here in a little while.
Okay. Thank you, Sister, and thank you for carefully watching our money. And you know, it's funny because we don't have a lot of money, but we consider it a lot of money because it's your money. And we do have major discussions on how much we're going to spend. And one of the big discussions just for this meeting was, do we have breakfast or not? And we paid for breakfast in Pittsburgh, but we wound up losing money, and it cost a whole lot more. So when we're cutting the corners for you, it's to save money, which is why we're doing this now and not at dinner tonight. The next thing that I'd like to do is ask Sister Louise Grundich to stand up. She was my mentor, my very, very dear, sweet friend, and a former charity colleague. And I want to tell you all to give her a big round of applause because this year, she was the Society of American Archivists winner of the Sister M. Claude Lane Award for Outstanding Religious Archives. If I ever had a hero archivist, it's Sister Louise. Okay, sometimes we say hello, which we're going to do in a few minutes, and sometimes we say goodbye. So we're going to say goodbye and thank you to two of our board members. Sister Caritas Stradhoff, did I say it right? Who was our secretary, God bless her. Close enough? Close enough? Sister, stand up. She's tiny, so you have to look. Sister has been our secretary and just a source of much levity on the board. She's got a great sense of humor. And to Kathy Hurdle Baker, who is now going off the board, maybe permanently, maybe not, who knows. She keeps coming back. We don't know what to do. And also, I think we need to applaud Kathy because she was boots on the ground for getting this conference set up here at the Brown. She's from Louisville. We'll probably see her again. You never know. And now we get to say hello to 3 new members on our board. So if you would come up here, please. I'm going to have to read these. It's very hard to read because the ink is... We have Lisa Gibbons, who is coming in as Vice President, President-elect. Emily Reed, who is coming in as President. And Sister Mary Navarre has to come back up because now she's our new secretary. So, you know, instead of me, it's not like we're all getting married up here. I'm going to pass this and you just read and insert your name where it says insert name. And then your office, and they're going to be so good because they're doing this.
I, Sister Mary Navarre, promise to fulfill my duties as secretary to the best of my abilities, working cooperatively with the members of the board and with other members of the organization. As an officer, it is my intention to work consistently for the best interest of this professional association. Anything else? Pass it on. All right, your turn. I showed you the way, Lisa. I know.
I, Lisa Gibbon, promise to fulfill my duties as Vice President to the best of my abilities, working cooperatively with the members of the board and with other members of the organization. As an officer, it is my intention to work consistently for the best interests of this professional association.
I, Emily Reed, promise to fulfill my duties as president to the best of my abilities, working cooperatively with the members of the board and with other members of the organization. As an officer, it is my intention to work consistently for the best interests of this professional association.
You can keep that. You can keep that as a souvenir. And I'm off the hook. Yay! No, actually, I stay on as past president for another year, so you're stuck with me for a while. But I do want to call to your attention that the same thing happened at the last triennial when I stepped down. I was president when the last triennial started, so I'm not going to do this again. But anyway, speaking of triennials, I think we ought to give a giganto round of applause to the Brown Hotel and the staff because they have been phenomenal. Phenomenal. we had a meeting with some of the staff members, and Kathy and Veronica and I went in, and we thought there were going to be 2 people there. It was a member of every department that had to deal with this conference, and they're at a big table, and the 3 of us come in. They had a sheet of paper for every room, for every day, for every event, and they flipped it over and made sure that everything was absolutely perfect, and called a few things to our attention that we could straighten out when we were there. So, and I don't think I've ever been in a place that's been more gracious. So this has really been splendid, and Kathy, thank you again for riding herd on this.